Well, I probably should remake this board, but we're getting there. I'm kind of all over the place. Armor attributes, that's what we're tackling today though, so I'm going to go over there where it's not seasonal, right? I do like the seasonal effects, but probably not the greatest for just recording showcases. So here we are in a void biome, correct? I did change it, yeah, perfect. And obviously in my inventory, I have a bunch of stuff now, don't I? If you haven't seen, I have tinkered with armor trims. In fact, there you go. There's a new face for you, right? This isn't one of the templates that you've normally seen. Spoilers, though. So, what do I have on offer? Wow, that is not a smithing table. Let's grab out a smithing table. So, stock standard, we have the 10 normal trim materials, right? Redstone. It's not really plating, right? Because these are all minerals and metals, but then this is dust. So I thought, well, so why don't I go ahead and just add different materials that I think would be cool to have as trims. So we'll go ahead, chuck out the smithing table. And we've got our armor, we've got our templates. Template doesn't really matter at this point. And iron. Oh, the model's a bit different. Not the model, the icon I mean, right? So I did redo all the icons for the different armors to try to show them off as a little bit better, right? Because I think the boots were a single stripe, the chest plate was just the corners or something, the helmet was barely anything, same with the legs. So I think this indicates that they're trimmed a little bit better, just a little bit. But the other big change, what's that say? Silencing armor, armor triple plus. Ooh, what have I done? I couldn't help myself. I had to tinker. Easiest one to show off is going to be lapis. So movement speed triple plus. Finally has a use. Trimming matters. So chuck this on, and we get a speed boost. Right, so the FOV increased slightly. Take it off, shrink back, put back on. Yeah, so all of the different materials now. Where are my templates? There they are. So all the different materials now add something to the armors. So this was something I toyed with in the previous iteration, making all of the different materials have bonuses, but now there's a proper way to actually indicate that to the player. So I've changed both the phrasing, right? So silencing armor instead of, I think it's like silence armor trim, and then movement speed, because the whole idea is eventually I will also port over the different effects that the armor sets have. So if you have a full set of, say, silencing, it's going to do something. If you have a full set of something else, it's going to have a special effect. But we're focusing on the materials. But what about the materials I've added? Well, we use the chest plate. So we now have slime, knockback resistance, and movement speed. Scoots, or turtle. Toughness, health, and movement speed minus. Right. Glowing sacks, attack damage, attack speed, movement speed, and an error on the color. Right? That should be light blue. Oh well, do they all work? Yeah, there we go. There's a dark blue. So attack damage, health, and luck. Shulker shell. Armor toughness and knockback resistance. Bone. Armor and attack speed. Echo shard. Attack damage, attack speed. Honeycomb. Health and luck. Enderpearl. Attack speed, movement speed, and blaze rod. Attack damage, attack speed, and health. And if you've been noticing, right, they all have their own palettes too. So blaze rod, nice and fiery, as opposed to just the normal red that you can tack on, or copper, which is a bit more brown. Then the honeycomb is a bit lighter of the yellow scheme. Altogether, I think they've turned out pretty decent, right, in the color palettes. The only one I'm a little bit iffy on, I think, is the enderpearl. It kind of looks endery, right? I ended up flipping the palette, so it goes light to dark instead of dark to light. But it is sort of similar to the Echo Shard. Alright, Echo Shard, the Heart of the Sea, and the Glow Ink. All of these are very similar. I mean, the items in themselves, the coloring is fairly similar. Oh, we forgot. Nether Star. All stats plus. Right, so this increases every single attribute. Oh, do I don't model them. I'm not going to model them. What? There was already 10 combinations. Now there's 24. Wait, 24? 10? And then 11, if you count out the ones I've added. There's 3 extra ones that you can't craft normally. So we have... Oh, that's a spoiler. Don't worry about that just yet. We'll change it back to silence. Right, so we have enchanted. We get some enchanted boots. Exudes enchanted power. And generally uses the XP, the color scheme. Then we also have, hopefully I remember these right, Celestial, which I think is my new favorite, and that is not how you spell Celestial. I think that is. Yeah, so we'll make a full set of the Celestial, because I like the color scheme I've come up with. We've got leggings next, perfect. Then we've got a chest plate. And I've just realized I'm still in windowed mode. Oh well. I can probably edit out the white bar. If it's there. Oh well. And a helmet. Okay, so we have a full set. I like the icons already, don't you? And what does it look like equipped? Blue and purple, which is generally my favorite color scheme. Right. So celestial armor. I don't know, I was thinking of going with blues and yellow whites, but then I realized that the Nether Star is the same color scheme. Or is already that color scheme, I should say. Do I have another chest plate? I do. So Nether Star, there's the templates. So I wasn't quite sure. I was actually going to call it Divine to begin with. But I've just ended up going with Celestial, Enchanted, and then the third one is Ancient. Which we'll just do the chest plate, since that's the easiest to really show off. We have our Ancient chest plates, which exudes ancient power. I haven't actually done anything for the attributes. I don't know if I want to make these OP, but chances are these are going to be like the final sets of armor. So if you could add the trim or bind armor with the trim, it's going to be pretty great. Yeah, so we've got a dark-ish color palette for the Ancient. It's similar to, I don't know if I have one up there, but the Ancient Eye item, which is going to be one of the token resources. So far for the resources, we have Shards of Power, now with an updated model. We have all the different world fragments. Then we have our Ancient Eye, which I haven't renamed. And am I gonna do the Dust again? I don't know. So this replaces the Jailer's Eye from the previous map, if you saw that. And then the world fragments, I think I had one of them. I didn't have it split between 5. But for instance, depth comes from fishing, enchantment comes from enchanting, harvest comes from growing crops, life comes from beating other entities, and then mineral comes from mining ore, all of which will be the main items that you can use for different crafting and trade with all the special villages. There's a lot to do and a lot to map out. But yeah, so what do you think? What do you like the color palette? Do you like the updated icon? Do you like the fact that I've added more trims? Because boy, oh boy, did they were a hassle. Adding in each one of these, just alone to do the icons. The icons are the worst thing in the world, right? Because you have to re-texture the color palette onto the different items, because it's not like the inbuilt ones for redstone, copper, gold, all these. They must have an atlas somewhere that I don't know how to access and change. So I had to do these manually. So I had to actually make these icons manually, right? Figure out the color gradients and where each of the different colors go. And it was a headache. And then I had to do that for each of the armor, because they work for everything, right? So you can get ancient chainmail, you can get ancient leather, you can get ancient diamond, you can get ancient turtle helm if you wanted. So count them out, and that's a lot. I think it's like 25, right? So 25 icons I have to come up with per trim material. And then I've added in 14 trim materials. So more than what Mojang gave you. Just put that out there. And I did it all manually. Okay. Stat-wise, I don't know if we went over them well enough, to be honest. Because some of them did have minuses. To explain it simply. So we've got the pluses, right? I am going for, I think it's 200% increase overall to the player's stats if you use all the different mechanics I'm going to put into the game to access the attribute system. Altogether, that should work out to a decent amount, because if you factor in, say, the highest armor toughness that you can get, at 200%, you're slightly over that amount, meaning you don't need to put all your bonuses, if you will, so from the different materials and the 2 different bags that I'm going to add into armor toughness, right? You can spread it out. So overall, 200% seems like the perfect cap. So for instance, on the +3, that works out to a 18% movement speed increase. So these legs give us 18% movement speed, right? That's the FOV. So if you have it in each of the 4 slots, that's what? 72% movement speed. I've done that right. Pretty sure it was 6, 12, 18. And then, for instance, do I have one? All stats. So this will only give, oh, that's the wrong slot, 8% in each stat. So for instance, there you go, the FOV went down, we put it on, should go slightly, but only slightly, right? Because this is only 8%, whereas the 3 pluses are 18%. 6%, sorry. I'm already confusing myself. And then, of course, the ones that have minuses are minus 6%. The ones that have 2 pluses are 12%. And I think I have done a decent job balancing it. You'd have to actually play around with it too. Okay, so just give me the verdict. Do you like the new icons? I think they represent trimmed armor a little bit better, a little bit fancier. And do you like the new trims, the color? You know what, we'll do the chest plates again, just so you can see them all. And we'll focus on the actual entity for a change. So, honeycomb, right? I can't actually move it, which is a bit annoying, and I have to craft them all, so I'm not going to do that. Slime. I think I should almost go lighter on the slime palette. Glow ink. I think that's pretty nice with the shimmer bits on the top here and on the outside. Ender pearl. Reversed. So you've got the dark on the outer parts, and then on the inside is the cleaner color. I like the icons, right? It feels very like Lich King-y. Like WoW Lich King-y, right? Then we have Heart of the Sea, which is not necessarily a dark blue. Like, it should fit between Diamond and Lapis, which I don't have pretty well. Then we have the Echo Shards. I think this one, the armor doesn't work against the Echo Shard, right? I've only captured the highlights, not really the actual Echo Shard. But altogether, I think the color scheme's pretty nice. I think with the inverted of the Ender Pearl, they don't clash. If the Ender Pearl was not inverted, I think there'd be a slight overlap. Yes, the Ender Pearl's slightly greener, but I don't think there's enough contrast. There's a lot of blues in this, to be honest. Bone is just white, right? So nothing too special there. Shulker Shell, purple, compared to Amethyst, the other purple. It's the lighter variant. In fact, Quartz versus Bone, because I haven't actually looked at that. So Bone's a bit more apparent in terms of being white. And then the Scoot, right? Because we've already done the Slime Ball. And Blaze Rod. I haven't done Blaze Rod yet either. So just a all-around dark green, so it should be... Oh, it's actually not darker than the emerald. But I guess it looks less metallic, right? It's almost like it is... not really scales. It kind of looks leathery. They might need a little bit of tweaking. I think the slime ball's nice, though. That looks very slimy. And then the Blaze Rod. So fiery. The palette altogether is darker. The issue is, from what I've seen, is the palette for armor trims is 8 colors. But generally speaking, the armor trims don't make use of those 8 colors. It generally uses 6. It doesn't touch the lightest color or the darkest color for whatever reason. So I don't know why they did 8. It's a bit annoying because I thought they were all used. But as you can see, this starts at orange, whereas the actual Blaze Rod color is a red. Should probably bring up the balance. We'll do that when we get to the technical side. And then, of course, we've got the armor trims we've already seen. So Enchanted, Celestial, and Ancient down here. Which I have the chest plate for, and we can just model on ourselves, right? So a nice, like, crimson. And then the Celestial is blues and purples. And then the Enchanted, you just get the boots, sorry, is just the experience colors. So it should work out fine in that case. Anyway, let me know what you think. Hopefully it's nice. Hopefully you like the stats too. To be honest, that's one of the biggest things that I wish they had implemented. Because again, the attribute system is just not used. I mean, come on, Mojang, why'd you add to the game? Just to rebalance combat and then promise an update that never's come? And then promise an update that really is never coming, right? I don't think any of us really expect them to redo the combat again. So yeah, so all the different trims give different stats in different levels, all balanced around, always giving plus 18%, right? So the negative one, if it has negative 6%, then the other two will work out to 24 and so on. Overall, balanced. Anyway, so yeah,